Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. So, as you were just fueling up over there, the fuel,
Yeah.
diesel.
Diesel, not gasoline.
You were saying about somebody you knew with filling up their tank?
All right, yeah, I was talking about how my mom was, she had this weird, oh, we don't have any fertilizer, do we?
Are we out? Oops.
I just fucking murdered you with a pitchfork.
Don't worry, I'm stealing these seeds now.
Is this fertilizer right here by chance? Whoops.
I think the blue
yeah.
stuff. Oh, that's the liquid fertilizer.
Yeah, I don't even know why we have that.
Because I think that first thing that we used, the machine that did the fertilizing automatically, I'm pretty sure it used the liquid stuff. And right now we have one that does the seed spreading.
Shit, we ain't got no fertilizer.
We'll have to buy that as well.
Lame.
It's only going to get us like 21,000. What do we need, 25?
Yeah. Well, shit. How do we buy fertilizer? Is it a P?
Yeah, it's in the P. It's in the P.
Yeah, so my mom had this weird thing where I guess she had ran out of gas one time when she was younger or something. I don't actually know. And so since that had happened, she refused to ever fill up the tank. She would always just get like
$5
in gas.
You didn't say it was running out of gas. It was she filled it up and
Oh,
then
right. Yeah,
crashed
you're
her
right.
car.
You're right. Right. Yeah, the car broke down
The
after
car
that.
broke down.
Yep. And so after that, there was no more. There was no more buying a full tank of gas. It was always we got to just get a little bit because the car might break down. It's the dumbest thing.
Yeah. To which it made me wonder: have you ever run out of gas before?
So I remember me and my mom running out of gas. Isn't there a thing now with new cars that if you run out of gas, like it's really bad on them, like with the fuel injector or some bullshit?
Oh, it could be. I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know. So, like, on my car or whatever, it tells how, how far before you're going to run out of gas and all that. But it's not exact. Do you have that on your car? I'm assuming you do. I think everyone does these
The
days.
low fuel light?
No, like it tells you, like, how many miles left before
Oh, yeah, my new car has that, and I have absolutely no idea how exact that is.
Like, in the Subaru that we bought, it's like, 1.1 mile. 0.9 miles, like it like fucking down to the point or whatever. But in my Beetle, it's like by the fives, so it's like 10 miles, and then it'll go from 10 to 5, and then from 5 to your fucking car is not moving
You
anymore.
have 5 miles to go. Excuse me, you have 0 miles to go.
Well, so speaking of this, the other day, I actually almost ran out of gas because So do you have like do you have somewhere you always buy gas from because you get like a discount or anything like that?
Not anymore. I used to. Like in DC, I don't. Why is this not lowered? When I was living in Michigan, I actually got specifically like a Marathon credit card because you would get all these like gas points for it, and you get reimbursed at the end of every month or whatever. And that's when I was driving like 60 miles each way to work, so I was going through it like quickly. But no, not out here. Now out here, I go to wherever I can find like just the best prices.
Right. So like I have like the same kind of thing where you were just talking about, except it's like with the grocery store Kroger. I don't know if you have Krogers in DC.
No, but we
anyways.
do have the Safeways and things like that to do the gas reward points and all. If you go to those gas stations, yeah.
So same deal. So yeah, I it said I had 5 miles, and like I was worried because it'd been on 5 miles, and I had like gone like 3 miles, and it still said 5 miles, and I was like, I don't know how much more of this 5 miles I actually have. So I was worried. So I stopped at the gas station and I put in half a gallon because I was like, all right, that'll get me there. Because like I only had like 2 more miles to go.
I need to fill up at this gas station with a half a gallon so I can go fill up at the other gas station.
Right, because like I get like it's like several cents off. Like it depends on how much money you spend at the gas station that month or whatever. But it is an amount.
It is an amount that is probably correct.
I mean, it's like for every $100 you spend, you get 10 cents off your gas or whatever. And so like I had like 50 cents saved up, and they don't last either. It's like if you don't use them this month, you can use them the next month. But it's kind of weird. Like, so like, if I don't use them this month and I spend $100 in next month, now I have 100. Now I have 10 cents off, and I have to use that 10 cents before I can get to the last month. If that makes sense.
Okay. So it's
so
like rollover gas points, but
kinda, but like,
fire.
Well, yeah, they only last for one extra month. But if you spend money in the next month, you have to use that discount for the current month before you can use the previous month. So like, I might have 80 cents off this month, but the month rolls over. I go buy $100 worth of groceries. Now I have to get my 10 cents off before I can get to my 80 cents off.
I gotcha.
So yeah, I had like.
What if you don't buy any groceries?
Well, then you just keep the 80 cents as like the thing you have off right now.
So it's like incentive to not buy groceries.
Kinda, if you
ever do that, just go start shopping at, like, instead of like Kroger, go to Whole Foods, or no, never
right.
Whole Foods, but
I love Whole Foods. It's just so far away.
It is too expensive.
Yeah, I've been getting my fruit cup items there.
I'm gonna get my fruit cup.
Well, I make my own fruit cups.
Give
like,
me your fruit cup.
Like, so I buy like raspberries and all that shit. But Whole Foods is like really pretentious with their fruit. Yeah, so like to buy like grapes, raspberries, strawberries, apples, all that, it's like $25 or so normally. It's $25 to $30 to make 9 fruit cups. Anyways, we're going on a tangent here.
$5 for fruit cups. You wonder why prisons can't afford fruit cups.
They have the best fruit though. Like, I've tried getting it at Kroger, and it's not the same. Like, their strawberries are always half green. Like, their fucking blueberries are all like these little tiny bitches.
They're heirloom strawberries.
Yeah, it's just not the same. And their apples, they're even if I buy the organic apples at Kroger, the Fuji apples, they're not the same. Like, they do not have the same wonderful sweetness that the Whole Foods apples have. They have the best apples.
I'm surprised you don't live in an area. I guess maybe the climate where you're at isn't right for it, for like apple orchards.
Well, they're more up in the mountains, but then the people in the mountains bring them down. But it's only a certain time of year. It's not year round.
What?
Is it year?
I can't grow potatoes all the time.
Apparently a potato will flower and it will seed. So there are potato seeds, and I wasn't even aware of this. I thought you pretty much had to.
You did some research on the potato seeds.
Well, actually, the YouTubers did. The YouTube commenters did, and they informed me. And then I looked it up. I was like, really? Okay, I guess that makes sense that it would flower.
I mean, yeah, I knew that. I knew that the whole time. Thanks for backing me up, guys.
So yeah, I definitely got half a gallon, and that was a weird thing too, because it didn't like I thought, like, okay, if I get this half a gallon, it's gonna say more, because, like, you get 23 miles to the gallon, so half a gallon should be like 10 miles, right? It still said 5 miles. I was freaking out, man, the whole way, because, like, I was gonna get my groceries first, so I get like the 70 cents off, and I was like, fuck, if I park in the parking lot and get groceries, the car might not start. So I went ahead and got gas before the groceries. This exciting life I lead.
So I have it, like, ingrained in my head that I can't run out of gas. I don't know. It's just my parents, like, made it very clear, like, running out of gas is a bad thing. So I have never, not only have I never not run out of gas in my life, I have never seen the low fuel light on any vehicle I've owned.
Wow.
I've never even seen it on my vehicles. Now, when I was in high school, the very first date I ever went on in my life, a buddy of mine, he was taking a girl to see a movie, and they wanted to double date, and they were like, Jeff, find a date and come with us. And I think I was like a junior, and yeah, I was sure late bloomer, whatever, but it was the first date I'd ever gone on. So I asked this girl, and she actually said yes, and I was like all excited. So get to go to this double date, and the guy that I was going with originally, like, who was supposed to be, like, starting the double date, it was him and the girl that he was going with, she bailed on him. So he still went, and he still drove, because that was the plan. And
he's like your chauffeur.
He's driving, and we're driving back from, like, this movie that all three of us saw, which is a very strange story. And all of a sudden the car stops. And I was like, what's happened? And he's like, I have no idea. He turned it back on, and it was his parents' car. He had borrowed it from his parents, and he didn't pay attention to the fuel gauge. And we were like 16 at the time. And he looked down and he goes, oh, this thing's out of gas.
Jesus.
And so, you know, those stories about, you know, people going on dates and it's like, oh, look, we ran out of gas. Like, we will now stay in the car, but there's only 3 of us. There's 3 of us in this car. So it was a little weird. The funny thing was, he ended up getting the car to start, and he gunned it on this old country road to like 110 miles an hour.
Jesus.
We crested this hill that we knew it was coming up, going 5, and coasted down it into the gas station to the pump.
Wow.
When the car finally like kicked out and, you know, died again. Wow. I thought that was kind of entertaining. And then the other time I came close, again, not my car. It was when I went to France last year. 2 years ago now, however long ago it was. We caught, the plane was in New York, so we drove to New York to get the plane. It was only like 4 hours from here. And I went with my wife, but she was staying there for a work conference, so we were there for like 4 days, and then I came home, and she was there for a work conference for the rest of the week. That's why we were going to France in the first place. And as we were getting closer to the parking garage that we had like reserved for the car, we were almost out of gas, and all of a sudden it was like, you know, turn right, and this is the parking place that we were in. So she's like, oh, just when you get in the car, when you come back and take the car, just make sure you stop and fill it up with gas. And I'm like, I mean, but it was on, like, the light had been on for the last, you know, 10 miles that we were driving, and I was like freaking out. So literally, like, going on the plane the whole ride home, I'm going, oh my god, it's gonna be out of gas, it's gonna be out of gas. I get to the place to pick up the car. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning when my flight came in. So then I had to get this weird ride from, you know, the parking lot, because it's in New York, so it's not on the grounds of the airport. It's like somewhere else. Wait for this guy for like an hour to get there to come pick me up, to take me to the lot. And then I go into the little shop thing, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, we couldn't get your car started. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, okay, is it the fact that it's out of gas? Is it the battery? Is it, you know, what could it possibly be? So, have no idea what exactly was wrong, but I played with the car for about 45 minutes in the parking lot, and literally just turned it nothing. And I'm like, maybe it's probably not out of gas, because I'm getting nothing. I'm not getting an engine crank or anything. I somehow played with the key enough and got it to turn over. It turned out there was an electrical problem in the car that I didn't know about. But I was freaking out about ever shutting this thing off again. So I pulled into the gas station that was luckily right down the street from the place, filled up with gas with the car like still running, you know, which is something that you're not supposed to do. And then proceeded to drive 4 hours from New York to D.C. without ever stopping, because I was afraid of turning off the car. So I couldn't get anything to drink. I couldn't go to the bathroom. After being on a flight from France for, you know, 8-hour flight and not knowing that I wasn't going to have this opportunity driving home, it was like the most stressful experience of my life. Terrible in every way.
This is fantastic.
No, not fantastic at all. But at the same time, it's funny. Like I sat there and thought about that stupid gas light the whole flight home.
I bet so.
It's so I always have these irrational thoughts about stupid things. Do you ever like have irrational thoughts?
All the time. It's constantly.
So it's 10 times worse now that I'm a dad.
Oh yeah.
Because before I would think of things like I'm driving down the street and I was like stop at a stoplight and I'm like, in my mind I'm like, what would I do if the guy in the car next to me got out with a bomb strapped to his chest? Like I just have like weird thoughts of like, what would I do in that situation? But it's just me, so I don't really think anything of it. Now, stupid things like with my son, I was watching a TV show the other day. I was like Burn Notice. I was watching a rerun of Burn Notice. And he ties some dude's hands up with a zip tie. And I was like, what if a zip tie somehow got around my son's neck? Like, It's like, what do you do? Like, not only would the zip tie like choke him, he wouldn't know what to do. Like, zip ties can get really, really tight. Could I even fit scissors in there to like snip the thing off? Like, I started thinking like these ridiculously irrational thoughts. I have no zip ties in my house, so like irrational. But I constantly have those thoughts now.
What would I do?
Watch the TV show and I'm somehow like, what if that zip tie was around my son's neck? Like, why the fuck would it be around his neck? I have no idea. Like,
okay, mine aren't that bad, I guess.
I don't know I wouldn't know what to do.
I always have weird. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, walking with a stroller, especially in DC. I'm walking down a slight incline and I'm like, what if I tripped and fell right now? The stroller doesn't have a brake on its own.
Right?
Like, is it just gonna go shooting down into the street? Like,
oh God! Would someone stop it?
I think things like that. Like, I'm like, why don't they make strollers like freaking like lawnmowers that you have to hold that little button before it actually?
That's true. Anything? That's honest God truth. Why don't they do that?
I don't. They probably do. We probably just don't have a stroller that has that feature. Because I would imagine that. I think about I should like tie a rope to the stroller and like tie it around my waist so that just in case I do fall, that it's only going like the rope length away from me. But
that's smart.
I haven't done it. I just think the irrational thought of what was happening if it's not there, and then it's not there. You know,
you just shouldn't leave the house. That's what I've learned.
Well, and that's the funny thing. But I'm not afraid of anything like that. It's just these are irrational thoughts of, and it's not about me. Like, I can think all the time, like, what would happen if this car drove up on the sidewalk and took me out? Well, yeah, it sucks. It would hurt a lot. I'd be dead. No big deal. But since it's not related to just me anymore, I'm just like, what would I do? What would I do? Oh my God! Like. Parenting isn't supposed to be stressful. It's just supposed to be like all fun and
God, it's the worst. Constantly the worst.
But you were about to say something about the thoughts that you have. Now I'm curious.
Well, it's mine. It's not an irrational thought, but I often think in situations that don't make any sense. That, well, what would people do if I did something crazy? Like I think the most common is anytime I'm ever at a funeral, I always consider just jumping up and screaming. What would everyone else
what
do?
would people's reactions be?
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's. I think of things like that too, but I thought that I'm glad to hear that you said something like that because I was recently at a funeral, unfortunately, and a lot of people were actually getting up and like saying things. And which I don't see at funerals too much. It's usually like the family, but a lot of people were just like, they offered like an opportunity for anybody to get up and say anything, and quite a bit of people, it was like 8 or 10 people got up and like said something, and I was in the back holding my son, and he was asleep on my chest, and I was like, I wonder if people would think it was cute. I was just like, you know, hey, my son would have something to say, you know, get up and like, but I was just thinking in my mind because it wasn't something I was like, oh yeah, people would really enjoy this. It was like, what would people think if I, you know, did this?
My son babbled.
No, he's 3 months. I'm sure he's got very prominent like thoughts going on in his mind. Like, he wants to share with the world. That would be kind of entertaining just to do. Maybe not at a funeral because obviously there's a whole different atmosphere going on with a funeral. But I'm sure there's funerals that people would like enjoy the humor out of it because it just kind of changes a somber atmosphere into like a pleasant atmosphere. I actually like, you know, eulogies at funerals when the really close family members are making jokes because they want to celebrate, you know, the fun times that they had with somebody, not the, you know, not just the sad fact that somebody is gone. And I don't think it's disrespectful or anything. I just think it's trying to...
Not trying to be a sad sack of shit.
Right, right, exactly. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it at that point, so just, you know, make the most of it for how somebody would have wanted to be, you know, remembered or enjoyed, or... Nobody wants to think of their last memory about somebody as always just sadness. You want to think about it as like a happy time. Your funeral was the best party I've ever been to. Yeah, irrational thoughts. Do they ever go away as a parent for longer than myself?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Because, like, yeah, you're always, yeah. Like, and I don't like sometimes like I feel like I get too lenient too. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like, well, she's not going to drink this bottle of bleach. I can just leave it sitting out. It's not.
Just leave it in the crib. Protect it.
Well, like, and some things too are like, she's never had this problem where, like, I always hear about kids like putting shit in their mouth, whatever. That's never been a problem, at least. So, got lucky with that one. But you know, you always see these kids that like are drawing on the walls and stuff, and it's like, gosh, she knows better than doing that. She's never done that. Suddenly now she's drawing on everything. The other day she had some fucking markers, and she decided that markers equal mascara. So let's put them in our eye.
Were they
like,
Sharpies?
No. At least it was just like some, just a brown, like, you know, Crayola style marker or whatever. But I was like, I got in the shower for a second to come out, and it's like, and that's the thing too. Kids suck at hiding. You know, they're doing something wrong. So I was like, where are you at? And then so she comes running out of the other bathroom, like hiding something behind her back, and it's like, what are you doing? Nothing. And then she throws something against the wall, and it's like marker, and it's like, what were you doing with the marker? Nothing. It's like, you're a fucking liar.
And I don't
but
know
it took forever to figure out what she had done too. Like, I went in the bathroom, like looked all over the walls, and like, where were you coloring and all this, and it's like, I don't know. Finally, she tells me she was putting it in her eyes, or not in her eyes, but. And then my thought was, what if I had walked back there quietly and like came around the corner and been like, and caught her? She probably would have jabbed her eyeball out with the marker instead of like me calling to her like, what are you doing? So it's a good thing I called ahead. Like, so yeah, no, the thoughts never stop.
Damn it. And it's funny because I remember being a kid doing stupid things like that, and for one, why you did it in the first place, I don't even fathom. And I did it, and I don't know what was going through my mind when I did it. But then also the thought process of, oh, I can somehow cover this up and lie about it because that would be the best thing to do. Like I remember, I wrote on the wall once when I was a kid, and I remember this vividly because I was so stupid. I don't know why I did it. But I wrote on the wall, and then I realized I probably should not have done that. I'm going to get in trouble for this. So I'm going to be sneaky, and I'll somehow, like my sister, her name's Brooke, and I was like, I will put Brooke was here. Like, I'll write that underneath it, because then they'll know it wasn't me, it was her. And then I, of course, pointed it out, like, oh, guys, look what Brooke did. She wrote on the wall. And I spelled her name wrong. It was like 10 times worse. It was not only saying that, like, you know, something that's completely like, why would she have written on the wall and then sign her name to it anyway? Like, that doesn't even make sense. But... oh, you signed your name to the wall and spelled your name wrong. What a moron. Like,
oh, that's pretty fantastic.
I was such a dumb kid. I just don't... I'm still a dumb adult, but I mean, I was a really dumb kid.
I think we all were. Like, looking back at stupid shit we did, I don't know. Like, yeah. My cousins would always blame me for everything that happened. And I remember one time, like, when I was still living in Texas, like, I was only coming here for the summer, my cousin lit the forest on fire and, like, burned half the forest. Yeah, pretty much. Like, several acres burned. And he tells his parents, I saw Jason in the woods earlier. I don't know why. They were like, he's in Texas. Well, I don't know if he's in Texas. I saw him in the woods.
So you almost got blamed for a forest fire. You just happened to not be in town.
Yeah, luckily I wasn't in fucking town.
Lucky alibi.
What's so dumb about this particular story is that they would always blame me for other things, and then their fucking parents would believe them, even after they tried to blame a forest fire on me when I was out of state. It's like that didn't resonate with their mind that, hey, your son's a fucking liar.
Well, no, it was just that one time he mistakenly
Right.
thought he saw somebody who looked like you. Did he get caught, like...
I mean, it was all our land, like his land, I mean, not his land, but his parents' land and, like, my dad's land and that stuff. So, like, nothing came of it, so to speak.
But did they ever realize it was him?
Yeah. I mean, after the whole, you know, I, like, blaming it on me, and they realized that he was full of shit, basically. You know, we have tomatoes in this greenhouse right here.
We have tomatoes?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
In this greenhouse right here.
Are they selling?
I mean, I just turned my flashlight on them. They're just sitting there. They're not selling. They're not.
Come on, make us some money, tomatoes.
You see him? Where are you?
I'm coming.
My beautiful wife.
I'm coming, baby.
You see him?
I do. I like cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, little tiny ones.
Yeah. Wait.
I guess those are just like personal use.
Is this part of the house, or is this like one of those like structures that we can buy? I guess we can look at the income statement, but I don't think I've seen it go up ever.
Hey, we have a forklift here too. Why can we not use this?
I don't know. It would help those pallets a lot, though. Yeah, it would definitely help with those pallets. Oh my god, I remember though, looking back on it, I completely understand why they would do this, but there's also been times in my life when I know that my sister got me in trouble for things because I didn't do them, and I would still get in trouble for them. So I know that there's those other things too, and I remember being so mad at the time, but at the same time I try to do so many other things to get her in trouble as well, so I can't really be that mad, right?
Right.
Yeah, we have a shit ton of wheat. Should I sell some wheat to try to get us up to that amount that we need?
I guess so, yeah. We need more fertilizer, too. I was going to go pick up some fertilizer.
Where can I sell this wheat to?
Actually, I guess I need to use...
The train station. Train station's where it's always worth a lot of money. Oh, man, I should have put that canola in there, or whatever it is. But you said the yields are not...
I mean, I guess other than... I mean, it did say other than whenever there's a high demand, and then it's always... whatever the high demand is.
I remember how to get to this train station here. It's over there. Let's just make a right.
Can you hook this to this?
No. What are you trying to hook up?
The big tractor, or the big trailer to the tractor. You could. I did.
The big trailer? Oh, the flat trailer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get several pallets of fertilizer because I used all that fertilizer just doing the 3 fields.
Don't forget to use the ratchet straps and then just completely undo them when you're on the way back. It'll go flying and it's glorious.
Seems like cheating, but I'm definitely gonna do it.
Well, I think it would happen that way in real life. They just might not be usable anymore as they are in this particular
just shit spilled everywhere.
Oh man, the train station is literally like right here if you just drive through the back of the field. I went all the way around last time. It's right. It butts up to the back of our field essentially.
Oh yeah, because we always go over the train tracks when we go to town.
Oh, get in here. Unload. Then let's remember which train track I have to be on.
Do it all backwards again.
Oh god, that was such a pain. So then you have to tab into the train. The question is
you do?
Yeah, I don't think there's any other way to get into the train. I guess maybe I could walk up to it and hit the E. So this is the wrong train track. Yeah, this is the right train track.
Did you check out Rick and Morty after we talked last time?
No. Oh. Only because I realized I did not get a... I did not remember to. So hopefully this will be in... Wait, how did we get down to $14,000? Did you buy all that fertilizer?
No, I haven't bought it yet. I bought one thing. That was $1,200. But that worker we hired, it cost $4,000 to do that
but
one
we
field.
were up to 18 and the workers were done.
Oh, the new day.
They took all our money?
Yep.
Those bastards took our money. We're working for the man.
We really are. What happened? I thought, I've always read about all these government grants and stuff like that for farmers.
Like the subsidies?
Right, and just really just money. Just where we get some of that money.
Did you see there was this a recent news article about a court case from like 2014 of this guy, a farmer who got sued for plowing his land?
What?
Like he planted wheat and then they sent him a cease and desist because he didn't get a permit to plant his wheat on his farm. And the county suing him for like $28 million for like ruining.
What?
Yeah, it's something. I don't know all the details of it. That did not get us the right amount of money. We need much more money than we have now.
I did just buy 3 pallets of
Yeah, I was trying to get us up to 25, and we started at 18, and somehow we're only at 15.
Farming's an expensive business, man. I did buy 3 pallets of fertilizer there.
That's good to have that to fertilize our crop, so that we can one day, one day sell more of that.
Listen,
crop.
we just need to play for 8 hours a day.
8 hours a day.
Did we ever say what we were even referencing with that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we're not talking about anything anyone said or anything. We were reading like how to make more money in this game, and there's someone was like, "I've been playing for 8 hours a day and just 5 days a week, and I have $600,000. It's not hard."
Yeah, basically all the responses were, "Oh, you just grind. You just like plant field and sell them. That's how you make money in this game." It's like, well, yes, we know that, but the whole forum this is on is about like, how do I do it better? Because look at us, we'd have bought a couple things, I guess, but it's been how many episodes now? And we have $15,000 to our name, and
this is episode 20 right now that we're currently recording.
Very little else.
Did you say very little elves?
Yes, I definitely did. We definitely have bought a few things and have $15,000 in very little elves.
We need some Keebler help here.
We need some bigger elves, or they're not going to be able to do the work on the farm. Like, I don't want to hire no little elves, but that's all I can afford, so they can only do half the work. They're just too little. They can't lift those pallets.
So now you said elf. Have you heard about this elf on the shelf shit?
Yeah, wasn't that like a Shark Tank thing?
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was. There was the Mensch on a Bench. Maybe he was just making fun of the elf on a shelf.
A who on a who?
A Mensch on a Bench. It's for like Judaism.
What's a mensch?
I don't know. It's a guy who sits on a bench.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't that make sense to you, Guude?
How could I have been so naive?
Come on, moron. Listen to this guy. Doesn't know what a mensch is.
It sounds like something from a Dr. Seuss fucking book, doesn't it?
Probably. It might have been. The Dr. Seuss Bible.
Have you read any Dr. Seuss?
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you familiar with the Sneetches story?
Yes, but I think I'm more familiar with that because you've talked about it before.
Probably. It's one of my favorites. So you know the whole deal. Like, there's the Starbelly Sneetches and the those without stars, and then basically it's a story about people being discriminated against and that sort of thing. Well, the reason why I bring it up is because Kohl's. Are you familiar with Kohl's?
The store, or
place?
like
the
black lump things.
The store.
No, I'm not familiar with the store. Only the
they like every month they have some item that they sell up front, and it's like supposed to, like, it's always cheap, like $5 or something, and then like the money's supposed to go to help somebody.
Is it an encyclopedia?
No, it's always like stuffed animals and like a book or something. It's always like a kids type item. So the one last month was Sneetches, and they only had Starbelly Sneetches.
And like, is that all they'll ever have?
Well, yeah, there ain't no other ones there. I mean, they're not. It's only one month, so like, I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Well, are they going to have the other Sneetches next month? I'll be honest, I really don't remember enough about the different types of Sneetches.
There's only 2 types. Like, the whole story is basically there's these beaches that the Sneetches live on, and there's Starbelly Sneetches and there's those without stars. And the Starbelly Sneetches are like basically like they're partying all the time. They're having Frankfurter roast. They're just having a blast. And those without stars are not invited. And then Professor McMoney McBean comes up into town, and he's got a star on machine, and he starts selling those without stars for their bellies, and then that pisses off the Starbelly Sneetches, and so McMoney McBean's like, don't worry, I got a star off machine too, and he takes off their stars so that they can be different again, and then it's just like all on and off until no one has any money left, and then he rolls up and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
and then they realize that they're fucking idiots, and then they accept everybody.
So
That's
are
the whole
you
story.
sure next month they're not going to sell the Mr. Bean Sneech? It's going to make your... It's like a
right. They're gonna
right?
sell like a sewing kit that you can remove the star with.
Exactly. Like Kohl's has a plan here, you know. Kohl's isn't still in business for no reason. You know, for as cheap as their stuff is, I love Kohl's. When I go back home to Michigan, I shop at Kohl's a lot because it's cheap and I can get a lot of like random stuff.
I do normally buy my clothes there often. What I hate about Kohl's is their prices are bullshit.
Oh,
like
the fact that it tells you this normally cost $5,327. Today
right.
It's $19.99.
Right. You go check out and you bought like a pack of gum. They're like, you saved $150 today, sir.
Yeah.
Look at this.
But I think that's one of those things, which is probably should be a false advertising like problem. But I think it's one of those things that they utilize because it shows you right there on that huge register. There's been like these studies about Kohl's and how they show you right there on that big screen all the discounts, and it makes people feel good about their purchase, no matter what they paid.
They're a liar every time. I'm like, you're a fucking liar.
You're like, but you're a liar, but it's still a good deal. Can't argue with this deal.
Yeah,
I mean, it's true. And then they have the one thing I don't like about Kohl's, but I understand why businesses do this too. Though I think this should also be illegal, but whatever, it's not. So therefore, businesses take advantage when they can. It's all the ways like the 30% off with the Kohl's card.
right.
And that stuff kind of drives me nuts because I don't want to have another credit card for just like that's a Kohl's card just so I can get that money off. But it's 30% off, so it's like a good amount of money off.
What I hate is the places that have a new card now and they won't shut up about it. Like Target added a card like a year ago, and it's like the red card or something, and every time you go in there you cannot leave the checkout without being this card pushed on you, and it's like, do you want to hear more about it and all this? And I've got to the point where I was finally like, yeah, my identity was stolen, and there's a whole bunch of forms I got to fill out just for you to run my credit. Could you just shut up?
And they were like, oh sir, your identity.
Yeah, it's just obnoxious, like, because you can't just be like,
for us. No, thank
right,
you.
like, if you just tell them no, they're like, well, but do you understand what savings you're missing out on? It's like, oh my god. Anyways.
No, I got you. Credit cards to me are such a crazy racket. I'm so surprised that the credit card industry isn't under so much more scrutiny from the government. Like when you're dealing with all these, like, you know, these bailouts of, you know, the auto industry and blah, 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 that all happened for a while. And now the government's going to look closer at the airline industry because of the way that they treat their passengers and all this stuff. And yeah, airlines are another one of those things that I do think needs to be looked at, but I think credit cards need to be looked at a little bit heavier too. Airports themselves really need to be looked at though, because it's not just the airline industry. I hate how you can have a standard chain restaurant like a McDonald's that's all of a sudden in an airport where you have no other choice because they won't let you bring food in there, and it costs 10 times the amount of money.
Yeah.
Like, granted, you can bring food. I guess that was a improper thing to say, but you can't bring a drink in there. So
No.
all of a sudden you're going to charge me for, you know, $12 for a bottle of water because you made me dump mine out at the gate.
Gotta get that Sky Club.
That shit pissed me off. Granted, yeah, hell, with Sky Club, I could buy the day pass for less than a bottle of water.
Right. I mean, now that you've been there once and you know what you got.
Oh, yeah, man. Especially with the fact that there's alcohol there. That's crazy. Like, I could just go get... Look, dude, we have 28,000 now.
Oh, wow. We did it. We did it.
I sold a lot of wheat.
So. we now don't have enough wheat that it makes sense to have the thing.
That's probably true. But I mean, still, you need to buy it now before we...
No, we still got 31,000 in the silo.
No,
that's a lot.
I did like 3 loads into the train.
Nice,
the train
nice. Well, shit. And next episode, we'll have a new tilt and swirl, whatever the hell it's called.
Yes, a new tilt and swirl. We are starting the first ever farming simulator carnival, and possibly pedophile ranch. I guess.
What? Why does tilt and swirl make you think of pedophiles?
Does it not make you think that?
What? Wait. What? And if anything, it makes me think of a swirly.
Well, but tilt and swirl to me it just sounds like it's something that is inappropriate, but it sounds like something a child would say. So therefore, that's why it makes me think of that.
All right. That's fine. All right.
Yeah,
The
way
tilted
to,
swirl
way to
is
let
now
it
the new.
end on that. Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
So-
Bye, everyone. Get your
Yes.
tilted swirl here.
Yes. I never said it. Swear.
I already stopped my video, so you said it on my end.